Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video today is actually the follow-up to the last video that I have shared on YouTube. In that last video, I talked about Jimi Hendrix's commercial success, and in this video, we are diving into Jimi Hendrix's cultural impact. How he changed pop culture, art and music forever. We'll talk about some artists that he inspired. We talk about how his music was used in film, how it influenced also visual artists, and how his legacy is still alive today. But how far did his influence really spread? In the words of the great Eric Clapton, Jimi changed the way we all played the guitar. And that's just the beginning of Jimi's influence. When he hit the scene, he wasn't just another guitarist. He revolutionized the very idea of what rock music could really be. He set a new standard in rock music. And this new standard doesn't just apply to the musical area. Especially his performance at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967, where he famously set his guitar on fire, was more than just a show, and it really set the beginning for a new era. It became a symbol of counterculture and artistic freedom. His innovative way of using effects and feedback, his show, his appearance on stage, the way of recording and composing created sounds and scenes that had never been heard or seen before. This brilliant mix set the bar for generations of musicians and artists of all areas who followed. Let's first talk about Jimi's influence on some musical artists. Hendrix is the only guitarist I've ever really respected. His blend of funk and rock was directly inspired by Jimi Hendrix, not to mention his look and style. Lenny Kravitz too credits Jimi Hendrix as one of his biggest influences. You can hear it in the way Kravitz mixes rock and soul in his music. And when we look at pictures and videos of Lenny Kravitz, we also see the strong connection to Jimi's looks and style. Let's not forget about Stevie Ray Vaughan, one of the greatest blues guitarists ever. He was heavily inspired by Jimi Hendrix's unique style, and he even covered songs like Voodoo Child, Slight Return and Little Wing in his live performances and on his albums. Beyond the music, Jimi Hendrix also became a fashion icon. I mean, just look at all the videos and all the pictures. He looked beautiful in every aspect, and he seemed like the forefather of all that boho fashion thing, but he also looked great in a tuxedo. His clothing style was a statement, and to be honest, it was almost as legendary as his music. But let's be honest, how important is fashion really when you can lead the rebellion of a whole generation? Jimi Hendrix embodied the spirit of rebellion that defined the 1960s. Even his lifestyle, the refusal to conform, his anti-war stance, and his public defiance of racial stereotypes made him a symbol for those seeking change. Especially Jimi's performance of the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock was more than just a patriotic performance and a cover. It was protest, reflecting the tumult of the Vietnam War and the Civil Rights Movement. That single performance is now a defining moment of the whole era. And by the way, you can find an exclusive deep dive on his Star-Spangled Banner performance at Woodstock, analyzing it from different perspectives here on my channel. We all love the feeling when we are watching a movie or a series and suddenly one of Jimi's songs comes on. Filmmakers worldwide have used Jimi Hendrix's music to amplify the emotional impact of certain scenes and of course of their films. Jimi's All Along the Watchtower alone is famously featured in Watchmen, Forrest Gump, with Tom Hanks, A Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro, and more recently in the series The Young Pope with Jude Law. If 6 Was 9 was an important addition to the movie Easy Rider with Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda, a movie about two bikers searching for freedom in America. It's hard to imagine a better song for this movie. And also Red House had a huge appearance in the tearjerker City of Angels from, I think it was 1997, featuring Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage. Jimi's music in those movies is often used to reflect moments of tension and change, which speaks to the lasting cultural weight his work really carries. And of course, there are many more movies out there featuring Jimi's music. The list is pretty long. Do you guys remember this fantastic entry scene in the Jimi Plays Monterey video, in the documentary, in the concert film? That's the scene where the artist Danny Dent paints a mural of Jimi Hendrix. He paints him on a wall, and it's a breathtaking scene. It's a breathtaking piece of art. And we should remember that beyond music, Jimi Hendrix influenced countless visual artists. His iconic image, often with his afro and bandana and psychedelic outfits, has been immortalized in murals, in paintings, in street art, and you can find them around the world. And to be honest, Jimi Hendrix is just as prominent in this category like the so often seen portraits of persons like Che Guevara, Bob Marley, and Bruce Lee. Even over 50 years after his death, Jimi Hendrix's influence is still going strong. The Experience Hendrix tribute tours, which feature top guitarists like John Mayer, Gary Clark Jr., Zakk Wylde, and Eric Johnson, continue to sell out venues across the world. His music is still being covered, it's still being sampled and remixed by today's artists from rock to hip-hop. He's often seen as a symbol of breaking boundaries. So how big was Jimi Hendrix's cultural impact then? Well, we can say it was huge during his lifetime, but it's still pretty big today. He didn't just change music, but he really redefined what it meant to be an artist. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care, guys. See you next time. Keep on rocking, keep on practicing. Bye.